Hello and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It's been raining for ages, but I've decided to start recording. If you remember, at the end of the last episode I talked about talking about the comments in the next episode, and this is one of the reasons that I don't really like doing the episodes out of sync like that, because a lot of the suggestions and comments are about stuff that I figured out in the next episode anyway. So a lot of you were saying that we should be using pumpkins, which we're now doing up the top here. I've also built a pumpkin farm for that. But there was one really fantastic suggestion, and this is based on... Oh, stop raining. This is based on the idea that mobs can pick up eggs. Now, I haven't tested, but if they could, what you could do is set up a chicken farm, and you could purposely hatch a chicken, say, every couple of seconds for like 5 minutes, and then that chicken, when it's an adult, will lay an egg, and all of them, when they're grown up, will lay eggs at the interval that you hatch them at. So you could have an egg farm basically dropping an egg down every couple of seconds or something like that. I mean, it could possibly cause a lot of lag because you'd need those chickens to be in water, but it is a way of doing it, and then you've created yourself a source of items for them to pick up that's just doesn't matter if you waste any of the materials. And you could even have a collection point like we do down here as well to pick those up. So that was a really great idea. I'm not going to be implementing it because we've got this set up now with the pumpkins, which I really like. But that's a great idea for any of you thinking of doing something similar. Now, one of the other comments was about my dungeons. I think someone was just making a few suggestions on how I could lay it out so that there's access routes for me to get in and out of each of the different rooms. And that got me thinking that what I've built so far is just a bunch of big square rooms with the same challenge where a couple of mobs pop out each time, and what we could be doing is taking that to the next level. So it got me thinking, and some of the ideas that I've had are rooms that have, say, lava in them, so there's like obstacles. We can make the floors out of ice or out of soul sand to provide a different challenge, and we don't have to make the rooms out of big squares either. So I'm thinking that I might rebuild my whole dungeon system at some point as well, which could be really exciting. And at the moment I'm just trying to look for the entrance, here it is, to the bit that we were doing last time. I'm not sure what it was I actually planned to do next, so I guess I'm going to have to take a break and figure that out. But this is what so we were going to build the channels on either side, and that's what I've actually just finished doing now. You can see I put stone bricks in all of this so that it looks nice, and we have our two channels going in different directions. Now I built this one here, and this is just going to go around the corner and have a tunnel that takes it all the way down to the dungeon level. And I've even filled in this side here with stone bricks, just as far as you can see, and it's going to go around the corner, and I'm not going to bother making that out of stone bricks. That's just going to go through the terrain down to the bottom where the dungeons are, and that would be that side finished. So we need to figure out a control set, because these are going to be extended by default, and that will stop the mobs from going down into these channels. Now I've also changed the top here to stairs instead of full blocks, because I was wondering if when they're jumping up and down they might actually clip on the full block. So this way they'll clip underneath the stairs, and then they'll hopefully drop down to the bit below. But we might even need half slabs up there, but we'll see how it goes when we get to testing. So this side over here is going to be different, because somewhere around here we need to build like a valve system so we can stop the mobs one by one in case we want to give them extra armor and things like that. So at the moment I think what I want to do is focus on this area up here and the interface. We've already built the RS Snorlatch, but we need to sorry, the T flip-flop, and we need to move this piston, this piston? Oh, getting all my words muddled up. We need to move this button to somewhere else, and it'll probably be next to where we control these things as well. So I just want to focus on this bit up here at the moment, and then once we've got a nice looking room up here, we'll move on to this part down here. And I'm thinking we're going to need a separate room, so it'll probably be hooked up to this bit up here. You'll have like your controls in a room here, and then there'll be some stairs leading down to the processing bit for the valve system that we're going to build. So I am a little unsure at the moment what it is I'm going to be building here. Not really got too many ideas. I'm looking around and I'm trying to think how is this place going to look when it's finished. Now I've made up my mind about one thing. We need a glass ceiling for the roof. I really like how this is open, and this looks really good in the daytime. It's just turned to night, so it doesn't look as bright down here. I guess that's another thing I should consider. We're going to need some lighting as well. But yeah, a glass roof would look really good, and if it's level with the ground above when you're walking by, when you're out there walking around and you just see the glass roof and look down and see this, I think that's going to look great. I also think that maybe the control panel or sort of area where you work from should be on this side, because it's right next to the dispensers, which would be logical since you're going to be giving those items to the mobs. And I just wondered, maybe we should add a gate here as well that you can open and close to stop more mobs from coming in, although I'd imagine I'd stop that at the valve system at the mob spawner rather than down here. And another thing is, I want to power all these dispensers at the same time, and although I may want to give one or two items, all I have to do is just put one or two items in the dispensers. It doesn't matter that they all get powered at once, but it just gives me more options that way. Now I could run some redstone behind it, but I kind of like how it is when you have this walkway area here, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to power these. And you know what, something else has just occurred to me. Dispensers aren't particularly necessary for giving the mobs items, they're just convenient because you can dispense, say, 6 swords at once or something like that. And that reminds me, I've also got to create a collection area down here for the items that we dispense that go past, because some of them will get lost, some of them will not hit a mob, go down into the stream, so that is something I should make a note of. I definitely don't want to forget to do that, because we want to be able to collect all our items. So I guess that's something else we're going to be building here. I've got to figure out the shape of the room. We know what we're doing with the ceiling. We're going to have a control area over here next to the dispensers with controls for the T flip-flop and these bits over here. And then we're going to have a stairway down to the collection point for the items that don't get used, and I guess that could then lead round to the area we talked about a moment ago where we're going to process the mobs. But I'll continue playing around with this and see what I can come up with. So I'm not too sure about this. I didn't actually finish building it, I just wanted to talk about it. I like the iron bars. I had some of those on me for some reason, so I thought I'd use them, and it kind of suits what we're doing here. We've got all the mobs in captivity, so having some iron bars around isn't too bad. Now, I was just about to say I'm going to put glass along this side here so you can look down, although that's not really a great view, is it? Maybe we'll put some half slabs here and you'll have a view down there to all the mobs, but we could put iron bars across here as well. It's just a thought. Anyway, what I don't like about this is the shape isn't particularly great, but it's the lack of like the change in colours. So what I thought I might do is those blocks at the back down there will change to dark wood to bring in a bit of different colour, and I would like to do that up here as well, but it would be between the ridges that I'd like to change the colour. So if you look here, it would be that bit there that I'd like to change the colour of, which we can't do. So if we do some different coloured stairs, I don't think it's going to look as good. So this bit up here, I'm not too sure about, but I think we're going to go with this going around the outside on these two sides, possibly this one as well. Then we'll have our little work area on this side. So it just occurred to me then that this is starting to get a little closed in. Where we're building up these sides here, we're losing the openness that we had around the outside before this was here. And also I really do need to use other materials. There's just too much wood going on at the moment. But I don't really have too many ideas. It's going to be another case of going off and building, but I think what I might try and do is remove all of this at this level and maybe keep it a little more open at the back here. But the problem with that is it means our redstone would be on display, and I really don't like that, having like a walkway with just redstone down there. So again, I'm unsure. I think I'm going to tear this apart and try something different. So it just occurred to me then that this is starting to get a little closed in. Where we're building up these sides here, we're losing the openness that we had around the outside before this was here. And also I really do need to use other materials. There's just too much wood going on at the moment. But I don't really have too many ideas. It's going to be another case of going off and building, but I think what I might try and do is remove all of this at this level and maybe keep it a little more open at the back here. But the problem with that is it means our redstone would be on display, and I really don't like that, having like a walkway with just redstone down there. So again, I'm unsure. I think I'm going to tear this apart and try something different. I am starting to get real annoyed with this. Sometimes the aesthetics just they don't fall into place, and that's what's happening right now. It's taking me way too long to get this right, and I've been moving things around, trying different things, and at the moment I was going to go back to the stone bricks behind the iron bars because I quite like that, and I thought we could build it up differently above it. So these dispensers are going to have to stay here. I don't think we're going to have our viewing balcony over here because there's no real way to power them with the redstone then if this bit here is all closed up. And then down here I thought we could do a viewing balcony, but this just looks awful. If I remove these, then we'll be able to walk straight out. So what I was thinking of trying was maybe putting glass panes across the front here, and I don't have any with me at the moment, but I do have some iron bars. We place them down, you can see that because we're on half slabs at the moment, the view isn't quite right. We'd be slightly higher, and do you know what, I think that would work if that was with glass panes, so probably going to go ahead and do that. We could also put some glass on the side here so you can see the mobs coming through. But yeah, I think this might work. So we're going with this for now. Not 100% sure if I like it. Also doesn't look very natural around here. I need to replant some trees as well, and we still need to put in lighting down there. Totally forgotten about that. If we pop down there, let's run through the back here. Haven't really done much else at the moment. What I need to do is start working on the redstone, get all the controls over here, and that shouldn't be too difficult at all. It just involves running some wires around, but the view here now isn't too bad. I think that looks a lot better than when we had the wood going a lot higher up, and I still haven't brought in any other materials as well, although we do have some dark wood down the bottom there. But it just didn't feel like there was any place to actually put them in, and now that we've got it like this with the stone bricks up the top there, I think it looks pretty good. So the next thing to do is to start wiring it all up. Okay, now that I've made up my mind, this is starting to come together okay. Still using tons of the wood, I just can't seem to get away from it. Feels like if I try and use a different material it doesn't look right. But we do have the glass to break it up, I guess, which is good in this part. But anyway, we've hooked up this. If I press that, you'll see it's going to swap and go to that side, and I've hooked up these two as well, so we can open both of these from here. Server's really laggy as well, you'll notice that. And so yeah, what we need is a entrance or exit from this little bit here that goes up to the surface and then down to our little control area down there. So what I might end up doing is moving this wall a little further back so we can put it somewhere around here, or I'm probably going to do a bit of that and some of this as well. What I'm going to do over here is move these levers to these two blocks so there's more space at the back here for an exit, but I'm not sure how that will look. I want it to look good as well. I don't want all the controls sort of pushed into corners, because we need to put another button or something over here for the dispensers, and I've just realised that there's no real way to access them at the moment. Like, oh, I guess you can get to them from here, so we're going to have to tidy this up. Totally overlooked that. Oh, and I put in some pistons here as well. Forgotten to wire that up as well. There's going to be an open and shut door there. So we are actually going to need a lot more controls in here as it goes. And a way to get round to the dispensers. I'd probably do that with a path underneath or something. I thought I was close to getting this bit done, but it looks like I've got a lot more to do. This is really starting to drive me mad. I've said it before. It's getting more and more complex and difficult. But I have made some progress in some places. We're going to have the stairs down here that can take us up to this side to get to the dispensers, and then that can go that way to our item collection and to the other sorting part, which I still haven't got around to building because this is just taking so long. But now we've got a problem with the dispensers, so if I go over there, my problem's sort of half solved. Now I've had to move them down one block like this, and then if we're going to be able to access these, we're going to be running redstone wire across the top here to power them. So then we're going to have to turn these blocks into stairs like we have here. So then we'll be able to walk along the back here and access these by the top bit just there. So that should work. I'm going to have to leave the redstone wire on display, which is something I really don't want to do, but then that's going to run all the way over the top of this bit here with this wire. We'll have a couple of buttons over there to control that. Now the other thing that means I've got to do is, if you see over there, that dispenser on the end there can now fire items down into that gap there. If this is open, which it won't be when we're using it, it's going to either go down there, or with the bottom bit extended it's going to land on the side as well. So it means that I've got to go and change how the pistons work on that side to extend those blocks as well, and then I'll probably want to mirror that on this side. So a lot more to be done. We are slowly getting there, and at the moment I'm wondering if I should perhaps just take a break from doing this and start on the next thing. So I don't know, I'll see how much I can do, and yeah, come back to it in a bit. Thought I'd give you another quick update again on how this is all going. I'm really hoping that this would have been done by now, but I don't know. Anyway, this bit around here is going to be just fine. I've set up all of this over here, so what we're going to do is have a redstone torch underneath that block there that's going to send the signal upwards, and I've just realised that that might not even be possible. What is below? Nope, okay, it would be possible. I could put a repeater there going into a redstone torch, so we can control that. Then we just wire that up so it goes somewhere underneath here, probably another snake wire of redstone like this, that goes all the way over there. Got to fill in all of that gap as well. So yeah, those wires are going to run round to this side. It'd be a bit of a nightmare to wire them all up, but then we can put some buttons around here, and these are wired up. These now work. I've also put in the pistons. You can see they both extend like that. So yeah, now I'm just thinking, do I want to do it a little bit complex around the back here and get it so we have one lever here, and then a gap, no gap actually, a button then another one. So it'd probably involve using a lot of redstone repeaters, but I like the challenge. And then it makes this room quite small, which would be kind of nice, I think. So I've just realised we're going to have a turning going to the left over here as well, and that'll take us to the collection point and then the processing room, and then it'll probably go up to the surface as well. I can see that being a bit of a nightmare as well now, because we've got all these redstone wires running around. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to bring the wire for the dispensers all the way over to here, and you know what, that might even be easy, just to take it directly underneath all of this stone bricks under the water and then bring it back up here somewhere. But anyway, that's the plan. We're going to try and bring both those wires over here, see if we can get all of the redstone wiring done so that we can have 2 levers, 2 buttons, and that'll control everything we need to do here. So it has been done. It was actually a little easier than I thought it would be, but anyway, if I press that button, you can hear the dispensers. If I press this one, all the water's going to change. Or maybe I broke it. Yeah, apparently I broke it when I was doing the last bit of wiring. Let's have a look. You can see it all here. So that should be fine to send a signal down. It's a little bit chaotic under here because the amount of redstone that there is. So, of course, I forgot to repair this bit after I was done. So now it should all work. That's the one for changing the water. I also need to fill this in. I'll just do that while I'm here. Okay, like that. And yeah, that should be all of it working now. So let's go back round. And that's kind of annoying. I've got lighting under there, and yeah, the old glitches. But anyway, we'll press that button there, and the water will change. That's great. And then we'll press that, and the dispensers go. Did the water actually change? I thought it was facing the other way. Ah, okay. Oh, so it's still broken. Should have tested this before I started recording. Okay, at last it now all works, and if I press that you'll see it changes. This one here still works as well. There go the dispensers, and I can control these two like that. So now it is all ready for use. The problem that I made was that I used torches, and I remember I said before, when transferring the signal to that T flip-flop through torches it doesn't work, although I could have swore after I put the torches in I did actually test it, and then when I put in the wiring on this side it changed. But this is now the new wiring. It isn't really too glamorous to look at, it could probably be a bit tidier, but I'm just going to tidy this up and finish that wall, and I'll probably have to put in an access route to get back here, although I don't think I really need to do any maintenance on all of this. So I think what I'll do next is just finish this room here. We still need to add lighting in, which I've been saying for a while now. Same for this bit over here. What I'm thinking I could do is put redstone lamps in each of the corners and then put a lever above it to power it, but I think that would look ugly. I quite like how the forgetting the name of the wood goes through like that, so I'm not really sure where I'd actually put the lighting in this area, but then again there's no need for it because the floor is covered by water and there's no areas where the mobs can spawn. Okay, that's it, we're done with this for today. I'm going to call it that. I have just finished tidying up the rest of this, and I built everything out of wood, and it I don't know why I'm doing this. It really doesn't look that great at all, especially bits like this where there's loads of it, so I'll have to come back here and do the aesthetics at another time. But then again, I didn't really want to focus on it too much because I just want to get on with this project and get it to the final thing where we can start fighting mobs in the arena. But yeah, the redstone wiring, if you remember, is just under that block to power this. So I've covered up all of the other stuff that we had here. We've got the same sort of shaped room as on the other side. I might put in a window here as well, and I'm not really sure what we could bring to this room. Maybe a few chests with supplies. Actually, that would be a great place to put it in here. These two walls we can easily put some stuff behind. We could put some chests in them, and then they'll be for the dispensers, so that's probably a good place to put those. Yeah, and that's about it really. So all of this is kind of done. We've got a couple of lighting glitches which I can't remove because there's a block of grass above us, but that's the surface grass, so if we remove that we'll have a hole. But this is all finished for now, and like I said, I'm going to take a break and move on. So there's not a lot else I think we can really be doing this episode. I've kind of focused all my effort onto this project at the moment, and I've lost track of the other ones that we were doing. We were going to move all of these animals into cabs and build something for those. We've also got the ongoing villager project, which I haven't looked at in quite some time. But yeah, there doesn't seem like there's much else I want to do at the moment other than that project, and I've invested enough time in it today. But there is one more thing I thought we could do before the time is out. And isn't this nice, by the way? I really like walking through here. That is something we might be able to do actually. This one over here might need... I was going to say it needed a bit of walkway, it probably doesn't actually, I'm just rambling now. Let's go through to the nether, because what I wanted to do before this episode was out was just go through to the pumpkin farm and see how many drops we got. Because the last time I'd done this at the end of the episode I got 3.5 stacks, and we have been over there for a lot longer this time, so let's have a look. That looks like a hell of a lot of stacks. There you go, look at that. I would say that the pumpkin farm is a success, and do you know what I was thinking earlier? That we could double the amount of timers in there and get them 2.5 minutes apart, so every 2.5 minutes it harvests. So that could be potentially double the amount of pumpkins, and there's only like 10 or 11 layers of that design as well, and there's room for it to go, let me think, maybe 20 or 25 layers before it hits the surface of the ocean, so that is a really effective pumpkin farm right there. So I might actually just improve that for the sake of having a ridiculous amount of pumpkins, but I don't know, we'll save that for another time. I thought I had a chest to put all of these in. I think I put them in with the ice. Yeah, that's right, so I'm going to dump those in there. So that is it for this episode of Hermitcraft. I feel like we didn't really get away from that project at all, did we? We spent the whole time over there. Hopefully that's interesting for you guys. I hope you understand that I'm really keen about this project, and I really just want to get on with it. And do you know what? I expected to build all of this in one episode. I was going to build that bridge down to there, the sorting area. I was going to build the pathways down into the warehouse, and then build the arena and get it all done in one episode, ready for the next one, so I can invite all of my hermit friends over here to play. And wow, that was a big overestimate there on, or underestimate even, on how much work was involved, because we've only done about 50% of it so far. So hopefully the next episode it shouldn't be too much more work to do. We've got the little processing areas to build, and then we just got to build tunnels leading down into the warehouse. And I think the arena itself shouldn't be, take too long to build, because we just got to lay down a level of cobblestone and then terraform some terrain like this, and plant down some trees as well, so it shouldn't take too long at all. But yeah, enough rambling. I want to say thank you for watching, and I do really mean that. For all of you that support the channel, you know, watch the videos, subscribe, comment, all of that, it really does mean a lot. So thank you very much for watching. And did you see my mouse spaz out there? Does that a lot. I need a new mouse. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.